Okay, so new formula for the NFL picks this week. We had a really bad week last week. Went 1-4. I did flip one of Sissy's picks. I flipped from her pick of Chicago to Houston, so that turned into a loser. So that went 1-4. That led us to 1-4. We should have been 2-3 if I hadn't flipped the pick, but still 2-3 is not a great week. So whenever things don't go well, we got to change it up. We got to find a new system. So I brought in one of our most trusted allies here on the this isn't the podcast. One of our most trusted pieces of the vlog, Nephew P. He's going to come in. We're going to do a two-fold system. That way there's two foils that I have to get through to make these picks this week. I'm going to have Parker go through the picks with me, see what he likes. I'm going to take what he likes, take it to Sissy, see if she confirms those picks, and then we're going to lock them in. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks. I'm going to tell Parker which things I like in these 8 picks. I'm going to pick my bets. I'm going to pick 8 bets out of this. I'm going to see if Parker agrees with me or if he disagrees with me. We're going to take that information, put it in a blender, take that to Sissy, and we're going to get our final picks for this week. So, new system, new plays, lots of money coming our way. Here we go. First up, you ready?
I'll press this one. I think I like it.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so Carolina at the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is an 8.5-point favorite. Now that means if we pick Green Bay, they have to win by at least 8.5 points.
What's the first one again?
Carolina Panthers. You gotta wait till I at least explain the game a little bit. It's okay, so Carolina stinks. Season's basically over. Their top player has basically been out injured the whole season. It doesn't look like he's coming back. Green Bay is rolling along. Their quarterback is starting to be in contention for the MVP category. They're in the driver's seat to be the #1 team going into the playoffs. They want to hold on to that. So, to me, I feel like Green Bay is going to win this game by a lot of points. So I think Green Bay by 8.5 is the best pick.
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Okay, so Parker's with me on that one. Good. All right, next up. I'm going to put a check mark that Parker agreed with me on that one. All right, next up, the next game that I looked at that I thought might have some good action for us to go with on. Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. Here's the situation. Chicago, big win against Houston last week. They came out, they beat up on the Texans. Texans kind of stink. Let me go through the whole thing.
Okay, I'm not going to press it.
I'll go through the whole thing, I'll tell you both teams, and you buzz on the team you like. Got it? I'll give my whole spiel, and then I'll say, what do you think, this team or that team? And then you buzz on the team that you like.
Okay.
Okay. So, Chicago at Minnesota. Chicago, I felt like it was an upset. This is the one I reversed on Sissy last week, where I thought Houston was an easy winner last week. Chicago ended up beating them like 36-7. Houston's probably more dead in the water than I had realized at that time. I feel like Chicago, I don't know what they have left to play for. Minnesota is clinging on to a slight chance to get into the playoffs here. It's at their place. They're a 3-point favorite. If they have any semblance of self-respect, any semblance of ability, they should win this game comfortably. So 3 seems like an easy number. But I thought Houston by 3 over Chicago was an easy number last week, so I'm kind of on the fence, but I just got to go with my gut. I say Minnesota Vikings -3 is the pick. So Parker, do you like Chicago, Minnesota?
I can't say. Bears.
So Parker's going against me on that one, so I'm going to put an X next to that. Parker went Bears. I'm going to give all this information to Sissy to see if she agrees or disagrees with both of us. Okay, so our next game. Seattle Seahawks traveling across the country to the Washington Redskins. Redskins have been on a bit of a...
I got my hair ready for it.
Redskins have been playing well recently, although Alex Smith might be out this week, so they might be going back to Dwayne Haskins, who they benched at the start of the season. Seattle's up and down. They're a zigzag team. It feels like this might be the week they zag back into form, get a big win. They're kind of hanging on. They're still in the race for the NFC West. Feels like they can't afford to drop this game. I like Seattle. 6 points is kind of big because they've been close every game, but I just feel like this is the week where Washington runs out of steam. Seattle gets a big win that they need. I like Seattle over Washington. Your thoughts?
Redskin.
Redskins. Okay, so Parker's gone against me 2 in a row. Okay, it's fair. This is why we bring them in, because I don't like to be the solo mind. When it's just me and my own brain, things don't always go so well. So getting the extra help, this is huge. All right, so the next game I'm looking at, New York Jets at the LA Rams. New York's got to travel all the way across the country to Los Angeles. LA is a 17.5 point favorite. It's a huge number. The one thing the Jets have done well has been to cover. They've kept games close, but found ways to make sure they still lose at the end to make sure they keep their draft position. LA hasn't really blown anybody out.
New York Jets.
Jets, okay. Not even let me get into it. I was going to say the Jets too. I like the Jets too, so at least we're on the same page on that one. I thought the Jets would at least be within 10 points in that one. Okay.
Only 2 Jets. I mean, 2 of you. Like, we're on the same team, 2.
We're 2 and 2. You've disagreed with me twice and you've agreed with me twice, so we're right down the middle. Okay, here we go. Next game. Philadelphia Eagles, Arizona Cardinals, birds versus birds. Who's the better bird? The Cardinals seem like they got their mojo back last week. Kyler Murray looks like he might be healthier, like whatever shoulder, whatever was going on with him, might have cleared up. The Eagles rose from the dead with Jalen Hurts to get a big win over the Saints, but that was, Taysom Hill. Once they got a lead, there was no chance the Saints could come back. They're not going to be able to stop the Cardinals if they're in their regular offensive form, so it's not going to be the same type of game. I like the Cardinals to win this game by at least 10 to 14 points, so Cardinals by 6 makes sense to me. Your thoughts?
First one.
What's the first one?
The first answer. Like the first one you said.
Which bird?
The first one you said.
Which one did I say first? I don't remember. This has been like 5 minutes ago.
Carolina Eagles.
Carolina Eagles. I don't know what that means. That's who we're going with. Okay, so Carolina Eagles. I'm going to say that's the Philadelphia Eagles. So Parker's on the other side of that one for me. So
yeah, that's what I was going for.
Philadelphia Eagles, okay. Not the Carolina Eagles. Okay, next. Kansas City Chiefs at the New Orleans Saints. Kansas City is rolling. Much like Green Bay, they are in the driver's seat to be the #1 seed in the AFC. New Orleans kind of came apart last week. They kind of got their weaknesses exposed last week against Philadelphia. If they can't keep up with the team offensively, they've got no chance to win because they don't really have a quarterback in Taysom Hill. They got a running back who can just kind of run with the ball. 3, it looks like a trap number a little bit because Kansas City has kind of let teams hang around. They've won 5 in a row, but also been 0-5 against the spread in those games. But this feels like a game that New Orleans is not going to be able to put up the points necessary to stay close to Kansas City. I like Kansas City -3. Parker, Kansas City, New Orleans. Who do you like?
Kansas City.
Parker's on the same page as me on that one. Good job. 2 more games that I'm looking at. I can't read my own writing. This is unbelievable. What does that say?
You should write it.
What does that say?
Like a normal person, not like that.
Okay, I got it. Cleveland Browns at the New York Giants. We always got to look at the New York teams because Sissy is our matriarch from the great state of New York. She's our real New York City handicapper, so we're always going to look at the New York games, see what we think about them. New York had a little bit of steam. Quarterbacks are all injured now, though. It kind of seems like the wheels have come off of this little roll they've been on. Cleveland needs a bounce-back game after a tough loss to Baltimore. I just think purely on paper, not even on paper, in real life, Cleveland is the better team. They're a 4.5 point favorite. So the question is, do they rebound from the bad loss? Do they sulk? I think they rebound and win this game big and easy. I like Cleveland -4.5 over the New York Giants. Parker, who do you like?
Cleveland Browns.
There we go. All right, so we're back. We're kind of getting on the same page. I'm liking this. One more game. Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh is a 13-point favorite in this game. They've been on a bit of a skid. 2 losses in a row. We've kind of found out they weren't as good as it maybe seemed like they were when they started the season 11-0.
What's this team again?
We got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, probably overall, especially now with Joe Burrow out, are probably the worst team in football.
Pittsburgh.
That's all we need. Pittsburgh it is. All right, we're on the same page. All right, so here's where we're at. Before we throw this over to Sissy, with Parker's help. Parker and I both like Green Bay -8.5. I like Minnesota -3. Parker likes Chicago in that one. So we'll see what Sissy
I
thinks.
like the teams that like do good. The ones that like.
I do too. That's always
like
helpful.
the ones that have the best names that I think.
Oh, so you went by the names, then like the coolest animals and stuff like
Like
that?
the eagle one?
Yep. Yeah. Well, we've got Parker's information. I'm going to keep this in my handy dandy journal. When Sissy's available, we'll present this to her, see what she thinks.
And I'll bring the button for her to press it.
Sure, I'll bring the button if you're not here. That way we can get Sissy's. The button seems like a good pep up to get some energy into this thing. So we're halfway through what we need for NFL picks. I'm going to throw it over to Sissy now.
Let's go.
Oh, hello. So, as you can probably see by now, we weren't able to secure Sissy for this video today. She's bogged down downstairs wrapping Christmas presents. That's her main profession. So we don't want to interrupt that because I can't obviously wrap my own Christmas presents. So I took the picks that Parker made versus the picks I made. I put them into this computer here. I typed a lot. I made an algorithm. That's the thing that people do. And I came out with 5 picks. Computer can't lie. So, here's what we're going with for our picks this week. First off, Minnesota, Chicago. We're taking Minnesota -3. Jets +17.5. As Parker said, he likes the Jets. He likes the Plains. They can't lose by more than like 20 points. I don't know about that one, but that's what we're going with. The computer said it. Parker said it. That's what we're going with. Kansas City -3 against New Orleans. New Orleans sucks. I think they got exposed last week. But that's none of my business. Let's see what I did there. Next up, Cleveland. I had it at 4.5 earlier when I was talking to Parker. It is now jumped all the way up to 6.5. That does not scare me away. I think the Giants suck. Although I should have talked to Sissy about that. Dude. I'm going to put this back in the computer. Okay. I put it back in the computer. Computer spit it back out. Cleveland -6.5 is still the pick. We jump to Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh, 12.5 point favorite over the Bengals. That's a big number. What? Do you want to be in the video? Come here. Come here. Okay. It's a big number. Pittsburgh has not been looking good lately. But let's backtrack a couple weeks. They beat the tar out of the Bengals a few weeks ago. Knocked Burrow out for the year. That was the last time they looked really good. Will it happen again? I feel like we need to consult the computer. Computer says, yes, bet the Steelers. Thank you, Oli. All right. We're locked in. Our official picks are Minnesota -3, Jets +17.5. That is such a huge number. That's ridiculous for the NFL, but they'll probably blow it. Kansas City -3, Cleveland -6.5. Who would have ever thought you'd bet the Browns by a touchdown? But here's where we're at. Pittsburgh -13. Those are the official New York picks. Because we got them from Parker, plus Oli, plus the computer. How can all this fail? I don't know. I might add more picks. Follow me on Twitter to see those. I'm going back into the lab. I'm going to see what else we can find. But those are what we got for now. Don't stand so close to me. Good night. Oh. Ooh. Oh. That's interesting. You should be following me on Twitter to see what I just discovered. I have 2 screens, so algorithms.